right. And also we will, again, we always try to call attention when we need to clarify or correct anything. It's so seldom because I hardly ever make a mistake. But in this case, I didn't make a mistake. I just asked a question and you didn't know the answer. Apparently now 7,432 people have told us the answer, which means that many people cared more than we did. But nevertheless, I asked what in Cody Rhodes' music, when he came out at WrestleMania, I could hear that in the right before the intro of the music, there was a quote by him. He was saying something. I could recognize it was his voice. It was a statement. It's the live crowd reacted to it. I could not hear what it was on the TV feed. Right?
Right.
And I asked you what it was. You didn't really hear it either. I thought that was I said, well, we need to find out what it was, right? We didn't go on a months-long campaign. I wish Jerry Lewis could have done this job on the muscular dystrophy telethon, and we've eradicated that disease. Just from that innocuous remark, thousands of people contributed the information that what Cody is saying, the pithy statement that he's making, is wrestling has more than one royal family. Okay, well, good. And that fits his deal. And I'm happy to hear that, except you would have thought that we had asked the fucking lyrics to Happy Birthday. It was like everybody was like, well, don't you know? Well, he's been using this for ages. This many people, Cody has gotten more people into his music than Chris Jericho has. They were offended that we didn't know what that statement was, that we did not know Cody Rhodes' entrance music word for word or the history behind it. Apparently, this is the music that he had done for himself when he left the WWE back 2016 or whatever, and has used it before that and has brought it to AEW. So it was music that he already had that Tony Khan allowed him to use, which is why he was able to take it with him. And now, most notably, you can tell how bad Vince wants somebody by the little things that he usually won't go for just to stay in control. So if he said, okay, he can bring his music in, he can have his name, he can write his own story, Vince is behind this. And the music is the biggest tell for me. But that's how Cody's able to have taken his music with him and etc. But is that a major offense that we were not fully familiar with the history and lineage of Cody's entrance song, Brian? Is that a major faux pas that we made?
You know, I was just before we started recording working on the Cody and Brandy and AEW omnibus. Yes, it's coming. It's a mighty omnibus.
They won't quit adding to it.
But all those reviews, all those segments, everything we talked about, we never ever picked up on the mumbling at the beginning. And it sounds like mumbling when I'm watching on TV and I just hear, what did he say? I don't know. I don't even know if it was him. But everyone else apparently knew. And they were quite upset that we didn't know. I had someone accuse me of being a liar. They're like, you're lying. You know what it says. I'm like, why?
Well, and
of all the things to lie about, that's what I'm going to start lying about?
Yeah, well, you know, they've got us there. You know, obviously, we just wanted to deny this knowledge. No, now I've heard conflicting reports, and some people have tweeted that, well, he's used different edits. Sometimes it was there at the first, and they changed it. It's there, but it was in Ring of Honor, whatever. The point is, if I couldn't hear it on WWE's WrestleMania pay-per-view mix, and I will admit, since I got hit by lightning that time, it's been almost 30 years. I get the ringing every once in a while, the tinnitus in the ear. And I'm not, you know, it's sometimes I can't pick out everything. But if I couldn't hear it on the WrestleMania pay-per-view feed mix, I'm not going to hear it on Ring of Honor's production and probably not hear it on AEW's. And again, I'm wondering, where is this people that have been in the building because it's clearer there, or are they going and searching out unfettered access to Cody's music with just the clean track on the internet with no crowd screaming or whatever? Is that how they're doing it?
Well, here's a bigger question. What other royal families does Cody Rhodes accept as being royal families? There's more than one. Okay, who are they?
Well, I would think he would have to accept Lord Blears' family. Because after all, well, yeah, Lord Blears.
Of course.
Because after all, Lord Blears was very integral to the AWA and Vern Gagne, who begat, the Dusty Rhodes era there in the AWA. I'm sure they were close, so he's got to recognize Lord Blears. Of course, Dusty worked with the Sheik a lot, so maybe, he would recognize Lord Leighton's family, right?
What about the Sheik? The noble Sheik. Is that technically royalty?
Well, yeah, but at the same time, no, I think we're just going for lords. I think we're just going for lords. I think we've got to
Not
protect
even kings. Not even kings.
Not even kings. Because, there was heat between Dusty and Lawler, when Dusty ran Great American Bash right next to the Mid-South Coliseum there in Memphis, didn't have Lawler on the card. There was heat there, so I think kings are out. And also King Cobra, there was heat there.
There was heat
King
between
Crow.
Well, hold on. There was heat between King Cobra and who?
I'm just making this up now.
Oh, what about Lord Alfred Hayes?
I was going to say Lord Alfred Hayes, the beloved. You would have to recognize Lord Alfred Hayes, so I think he's going to recognize Lord Leighton, Lord Alfred Hayes, Lord Blears, and what about Lord Littlebrook?
He had a tag team named the Royal Family. You got to include him.
Well, there you go, because there's more than one royal family in wrestling. And then now that we're recognizing Jack Victory and Rip Morgan, but you know what the problem was? The problem was, Brian, with that music, I couldn't hear clearly. I couldn't hear it clearly because it was on TV, and it was being played in the arena, and there was distractions. I wasn't getting the clean, clear, original sound. I didn't have it on my Raycon wireless earbuds. That's what the problem was. I would have been able to hear every tone, every note, every word, every lyric. I would have been able to hear nothing but the music there that I was trying to listen to, or the program that I was trying to concentrate on, because I would have my Raycon wireless earbuds in my ears, and they won't fall out. So you're not going to hear nothing except what's playing over your Raycon wireless earbuds, unless you activate the awareness mode. And then all of a sudden, you're going to hear that horn blowing, and you're going to have time to jump, because the Raycons have an awareness mode, because they don't like to see their customers run down by trains, planes, cars, boats, motorcycles, or any other type of conveyance. Folks, the Raycon wireless earbuds, we know they sound great. We know they're half the price of other premium audio brands. We know they've got 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life. Some of you may not even live that long. Charge these things up and run them down to one of you quits. But now they won't fall out of your head. There's no sticks, no stems, no wires, no ropes, no series of elaborate trusses that you need to use to keep these in your ears and on your head. You just put them in and they don't fall out. You can shake hard enough to give yourself brain damage. Hang upside down. Do the Watusi like My Little Lucy. Do the trapeze at the circus. Your Raycons will still be in your head when you fall to the ground 60 feet below. And then they won't pop out, because Raycons are a marvel of modern engineering. So they sound great. They look great. They cost great. And you'll always be able to hear. They cost great. They're half the price of this other dreck and sludge that people get foisted on them. And these things work right. And they won't fall out. Right now, if you go to buyraycon.com, that's BUYRAYCON.com/JCE, our listeners can get 15% off their orders. Whatever you want to buy a pair and a spare, and then a spare pair. As many as you want to buy, they'll send them to you, and you'll save 15%. Buyraycon.com/JCE. That's because they like us, because they know that we love them, and you will love them too. Why, you'll almost tantalize yourself into a state of blissful ecstasy when you insert these into your orifices. Your ear orifices.
Just your ears.
Just your ears. That's the only orifice. Well, if you've got
that's the only orifice for these.
If you've got exceptionally big nostrils, then they might fit, and then at the same time, you'd be able to figure out, can you hear through your nose, Brian? Is that something you can do?
Well, you'd probably get some vibration, but you could definitely still hear probably what's happening in your nose through your ears while it's happening.
If you stick the Raycon wireless earbuds up your nose,
don't do that.
And then it tickles you, and because of the vibration, and it makes you sneeze, I bet you they won't fall out. Of course, then that may damage your brain somehow. If you've got your nose completely airtight plugged and you sneeze, the backlash and backwash could fucking jam your medulla oblongata up against your pericranium and lead to a splintered liver. So don't do that.
On behalf of the show and our sponsor, only use these in your ears where they will work fantastically and they won't fall out. And that's the only place they should be put. Raycon.com.
Well, you can put them in
or buyraycon.com.
Buyraycon, yes, .com. You can put them in your dresser drawer, or you can put them in your pocket, or you can put them in your purse.
Well, that's true.
Or you can put them in your car. You doesn't just got to put them in your ears.
I knew you were going to go with Raymond J. Johnson.
All righty then.
Raycon.